When I joined Instagram, it was a relatively small organization. So there were probably about double digits of engineers who were working on the backend. By backend, I mean the web development using Python. What we do is we receive the request from the mobile apps. We make all the processing, whether it's serving the user feed, people following each other, liking a photo, upload a photo. That's all us. We process the request incoming, and we store it in the database using caching, and then return the result back to the mobile apps. As the team grew, as well as our user base grew, I joined the team that's more of providing the foundation of all the experiences. And with that, we focused more on efficiency of our server that would serve the users. That means that we use as few servers as possible to serve as many customers as possible. At Instagram scale, that is a large number. And that's where we got into, how do we make developer efficiency better, and how do we make the runtime more efficient? And that led us to migrating Instagram's infrastructure from Python 2 to Python 3. At the time, most companies were running Python 2. Only probably smaller establishments were running Python 3. Python 2 is not famous for having typing, so it created a lot of bugs that is not easy to catch until runtime. So typing was one thing that we really wanted to have in the language support. The other thing is asynchronous I/O. So PHP at the time, which powers the Facebook app, was also async, right? So these two bottlenecks made us really wanting to search for a solution.
This is Lucas Langer. He's talking about coroutine, async I/O framework in Python. And please give a big hand and applause to Lucas.
Lucas Langer and some of the other folks at Python Foundation at Facebook were working with the Python teams, CPython teams, to implement asynchronous I/O in Python 3. And so they gave a presentation on what the plan is, what it's capable of doing, and we really liked what we saw. So it's either backporting async I/O to Python 2, and we can use it, or we just make the jump to Python 3 and really take advantage of that and then really fix things forward. We were doing it at a point where there is just enough momentum in the community, right? So our first concern basically was, what about all the libraries that we use? We cleaned out all the libraries that are not making forward progress, either unmaintained anymore or are not making the migration from Python 2 to 3. We just got rid of them, consolidated to libraries that are Python 3 compatible, or we created our own libraries that are Python 3 compatible, right? So that's one of the biggest chunk of the work. And we basically managed to get a few of our key hero use cases working, like the feed, the follow, the likes. So that gave us a lot of confidence on, okay, what is the effort that we need to make to get that to work? And the second phase is unit test. One of the things that our founders did, and it was a great cultural signature at Instagram, is unit tests, right? Partly because Python, you have to do unit tests because there's no typing. It's kind of, we kind of used unit tests as a compiler, right? I don't know if other companies do that as well, to just run through the code and make sure everything works, right? And the last part is the rolling out to the customers. That is the slowest process because we want to really make sure that the code from 2 to 3 is working. The big challenge is basically to fix the engine while you're flying. So what we did was we basically turned up some users to use Python 3. Now, first, starting with developers. So developers can have their feed not serving, whatever, right? We can suffer through that. But that's where the vast majority of the bugs were found. And then we started turning up for internal dog fooders, and then like 0.1% of our users and 1% of our users, and gradually going to all of the users. Through this like continuous feedback and iterative process, we were able to successfully roll it to the 100% users.
Yes, you heard it right. Instagram has been running fully on Python 3 for a few months.
we had actually some good performance gains as well after our migration, which was added bonus because that was even before our async I/O migration. So we had CPU gains, we had memory gains. So with our number, at our scale, that really gave people confidence in migrating to Python 3.